if you can go on to your website, the Home Affairs, there's a bulletin or a list of critical and scarce skills in the country, right? And this is worldwide. One of the biggest skill that is being sought after by the market is the skill of critical thinking.
Today, we're going to look at the National Credit Act 34 of 2005. This law focuses on who businesses can give credit to and what responsibilities they have to ensure consumers can afford credit without falling into too much debt. Think about situations like cell phone contracts or buying clothes on credit. When you buy on credit, there's always a contract involved, and it's important that businesses explain the terms clearly to consumers. This is one of the key points of the National Credit Act. Why was the National Credit Act introduced? The National Credit Act was introduced to protect people from taking on more credit than they can afford. Many people live beyond their means, especially in countries like the USA, which is known for high levels of personal debt. The goal of this law is to ensure that South Africans don't fall into the same trap. Purpose of the National Credit Act: protect the interests of consumers. The Act helps to promote both social and financial well-being by making sure that people only take on credit they can afford. Promote a fair and competitive credit market. It ensures that consumers know exactly what's in their credit agreements and prevents unfair practices. Prevent discrimination. It ensures that businesses don't discriminate against consumers based on race, gender, or other factors when offering credit. Establishes the National Credit Regulator, NCR. The NCR is responsible for registering credit providers, credit bureaus, and debt counseling services. It also ensures that businesses follow the rules when it comes to lending. Just a bit of background info. Credit bureaus are companies that collect and store information about your credit history. They keep track of how well you manage your debts, such as loans, credit cards, or store accounts. Every time you apply for credit, make a payment, or miss one, this information is sent to the credit bureau. When you apply for new credit, businesses like banks or stores can check your credit report with these bureaus. This helps them decide if you are likely to pay back the money you borrow. If your credit report shows that you often miss payments or have a lot of debt, you may not qualify for new credit. In South Africa, some well-known credit bureaus include TransUnion, Experian, and XDS. What are debt counseling services? Debt counseling services help people who are struggling to pay their debts. If you have too much debt and can't keep up with your payments, a debt counselor can help you manage your finances. Here's how it works. The debt counselor will look at all your debts and income. They will then help you work out a payment plan that you can afford. The debt counselor will also talk to the people you owe money to, your creditors, and negotiate new repayment terms. During this process, called debt review, creditors cannot demand payment from you or take legal action. The goal is to help you get out of debt without losing your home or other important assets. Once your debts are paid off, you're taken out of debt review and can start fresh. Both credit bureaus and debt counseling services play a key role in helping consumers manage credit responsibly. How does the National Credit Act benefit businesses? Transparency. The Act ensures that both businesses and consumers understand their responsibilities in the credit process, attract more customers. Businesses can sell more because they can offer credit to customers who qualify. Reduce bad debts. Since only those who can afford to repay will be granted credit, businesses can expect fewer unpaid debts. Lower risk of reckless lending. By checking a customer's ability to repay, businesses avoid giving credit to people who can't afford it, which protects them from losses. Access to credit information. Businesses can check a customer's credit history with a credit bureau before offering them credit, which helps make more informed decisions. Challenges for businesses. While the National Credit Act has many benefits, it also comes with some challenges. No aggressive credit marketing. Businesses can no longer push all their products on credit, which may reduce sales. Stricter credit checks. Some consumers who used to qualify for credit may no longer meet the stricter requirements, leading to fewer sales. Costly administration. Complying with the Act requires more paperwork and administration, which can be expensive for businesses. They may need to hire more staff to manage this. Reckless lending penalties. If a business is found to have granted credit recklessly, they could lose out on repayment and even the goods sold on credit. The consumer may be allowed to keep the goods without having to pay. Debt collection complications. The Act makes it more difficult and expensive for businesses to collect debts, especially if a consumer is under debt review. Debt review. Debt review is a process where a consumer's finances are managed by a debt counselor because they are unable to pay their debts. During this time, businesses cannot collect payments or charge additional fees. Avoiding discrimination. Under the National Credit Act, businesses cannot refuse credit based on someone's race, gender, or other discriminatory factors, charge different interest rates based on discriminatory factors, blacklist a customer without making genuine attempts to recover the debt. If a business doesn't comply with the Act, penalties can include fines, and in some cases, the court may cancel the consumer's debt. Example of non-compliance. Recently, Edgar's faced a problem where customers were misinformed about their account balances. They paid off their balances, but were later charged extra fees. This was brought to light by Wendy Nola, a consumer rights activist, who helped reverse these unfair charges. How businesses comply with the National Credit Act. Registration with the NCR. Businesses that provide credit must be registered. Annual compliance report. They need to submit reports to the NCR each year. Affordability assessments. Businesses must check if a consumer can afford the credit they are applying for. Credit checks. They must check a consumer's credit record with a registered credit bureau. Compliance with the Financial Intelligence Center Act, FICA. This includes verifying customer identities and reporting suspicious transactions. Consumer rights under the National Credit Act. Fair access to credit. Consumers have the right to apply for credit and not face discrimination. Transparency. Consumers must receive clear explanations about why they are refused credit and get pre-agreement documentation before signing any credit contract. Choice and protection. They have the right to return faulty goods and receive information in plain language. Credit record. Consumers can access and challenge any credit information held by businesses. If businesses do not comply with the NCA, there are serious consequences. The NCA is designed to protect consumers from reckless lending and ensure fair treatment. When a business fails to follow the rules, they can face several penalties. Fines and penalties. The NCR can impose heavy fines on businesses that break the rules. The fines can be very costly, depending on the severity of the violation. This is meant to discourage non-compliance, loss of outstanding debt. If a business is found guilty of reckless lending, they may lose the right to collect any money from the consumer. This means that even though the consumer received the goods or services on credit, the business cannot demand repayment. The court can cancel part or all of the debt. Legal action. Consumers or the NCR can take legal action against a business that does not comply. The court may rule against the business, which could lead to expensive lawsuits and damage to their reputation. Ban on future credit agreements. If a business is found to have issued credit recklessly, they may be banned from offering credit in the future. This can severely limit a business's ability to attract customers and grow. Forfeiting goods. In cases of reckless lending, the court may allow the consumer to keep the goods they bought on credit, and the business cannot take them back. This is a significant loss for the business, especially for expensive items like furniture or appliances. Reputational damage. Non-compliance with the Act can damage the business's reputation. If a business is publicly named for breaking the rules, consumers may lose trust in that company, leading to a loss of customers. Debt collection restrictions. If a business fails to follow proper debt collection procedures under the NCA, it cannot take legal action to recover the debt. This makes it harder and more expensive to collect unpaid debts. increased scrutiny from regulators. Once a business is found in violation of the NCA, they may face increased scrutiny from the NCR. This could mean more frequent audits and closer monitoring, which can be time-consuming and costly for the business. In conclusion, the National Credit Act protects both consumers and businesses by ensuring that credit is granted responsibly. It helps prevent people from falling into too much debt and makes the whole credit process more transparent. Thank you for watching. If you learned something, please consider sharing the video with a friend. Please consider supporting the classroom by donating a small amount of your choosing through the Zapper and Snap Scan link on your screen. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out.